Thank you everybody for joining our webinar and welcome to the next installment of our webinar series. My name is Hillel Charm. I'm part of the account management team here at Law Ruler and I'll be your presenter for today's webinar. I'm also joined by our Chief Technology Officer, Dan Jacobs, and
Hey,
he's going
everybody.
to be able to help us answer any questions and assist with the moderating of today's webinar. The topic of today's presentation, we're going to focus on the very important aspect of managing and accessing your documents inside of Law Ruler and using our new advanced document management system to facilitate that process. So the first thing to focus on is, what is your firm's current approach? Are you a paperless firm? Do you currently have paper documents as well as digital documents? Are your documents arranged in a way that makes it easy to access and manage in the future? And also, do you have accurate reporting for those documents as you're going to trial and to settlement? So these are some daily questions that any firm should always ask themselves when reviewing their current strategy for managing their documents. So how long does it take to find the documents that you currently need? Do you have medical records and contracts and different documents all saved in the same folder? Do you have the ability to run a document report to do inventory on those documents? And are they organized in a way that's going to allow you to easily retrieve them in the future, as well as how much time do you have to spend actually retrieving and organizing those documents? And finally, as a result of your document strategy, is your firm running well, and how do you actually know how well that you are able to pull up those documents? So that leads us to, what is the advanced document management system inside of Law Ruler? So this is a new feature. It's a cloud-based solution that ensures that your documents are easy to access and manage in a centralized location. It has functionality that allows you to easily edit and upload documents directly into your client's document folder. And it also allows you to standardize your folder structure system-wide or create unique folder structures for each one of your dockets or case types. And then finally, the system does come equipped with reporting to allow you to easily and accurately inventory all of your records inside of Law Ruler. So that basically takes us to, actually seeing the document management system and how it actually works. So what we're looking at is the document management system search functionality. So this is going to allow you to pull up your records inside of the system, and you can easily see the records are organized. There's lots of different filters that can be applied, and you can easily access and download and organize the documents using this functionality. We also have different views that are available. So our default view is a file view that's going to allow you to see all the documents that have been uploaded into the system in chronological order. So that allows you to see the most recent documents that are in the system, and they can be organized as such. There's also lots of different filters that can be applied. We also have a file view. So the file view has lots of other benefits in that you can pull up records for specific clients. You can access all of those documents for that particular client. It even allows you to download the entire folder. So in the event that you need to prepare anything for this particular client, you'll have all of those documents available and easy to access and pull up.
Hello, there was a question. Can you go back one slide, please? I
Sure.
just wanted to address that one. So
Yeah.
the question was, how do I see the most recent documents in my system at any given time? E.g., today I want to see all the documents that came in. My role here is the managing attorney or the intake manager, and I want to see all the new intake documents that came in today, or I want to see all the new medical records that came in today in a specific docket. So
Yeah,
where would I do such a thing? And
yeah, that's a great question. So in the screen, obviously, we just touched on the file view, so you can actually organize your documents and sort them in the most recent by the date that they're modified. So you could see the documents that have been most recently updated or most recently edited. This also allows you to, we'll cover this in a couple of slides, but there's also lots of different filters that you can apply to the document management system. And again, that's going to allow you to pull up the specific files that you need. So you can filter them by your different dockets, add tags, or even by the users that have last modified those documents.
So it's safe to say that this file view that I'm looking at, every time I click on the documents button in my Law Ruler system, I can go here and at any given time, it's going to show me the newest documents automatically.
Exactly. That is the default view for the document management system.
I don't have to go dig through a bunch of folders to find.
No, definitely not.
Okay, because that was the pain point that this was supposed to address. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
obvious.
So
Exactly.
what is
So
this that you're showing now when just a minute ago you were saying that I don't have to dig through the folders?
sure. So, obviously, if you're trying to look for specific records or specific files, you don't want to have to dig through client folders to be able to find those. But in the event that you do need to access an entire folder, we do have the ability to actually switch to a folder view at any time. And that way you can see all of the different documents that are in a specific client's or lead's document system. So, for example, if I want to access a particular client and download all of the documents that they have at once, I can always switch to that folder view. I can search for that client, and this is going to allow me to download all of those documents simultaneously.
Okay, well, I had a question. So, you know, my firm has several hundred existing auto accident cases and more than 1,000 mass tort cases. So do I have to click through each of these folders? Because for example, I have a very sophisticated folder structure that I use right now. I have 30 different folders and subfolders for every single case. And I don't want to have to click through all these empty folders to try and find where my files are at, even if I'm looking at the folder view, like you're showing me on the screen. How
That
would I prevent that?
That's a great question. And that's actually was something that was on the top of our minds when we were developing this functionality. So we do have the ability to actually show or hide any empty folders in this folder view. So, while your staff are looking through different file folders for those different records, you can actually hide any that are invisible, that are empty, and therefore they won't have to waste their time clicking through empty folders. They'll only see the folders that actually have documents inside of them, and so that will make their job of processing this information a lot more efficient and effective.
Oh, okay, great. So for example, if I needed something specific in the Hillel test client that I see here on your screen, I could click on that and it's only going to show me the folders that actually have documents in them, correct?
Exactly, exactly.
Oh,
That
okay, great.
that way we don't have to spend time, clicking through empty file folders, just to see that there's nothing in there.
Okay, great. You answered my question. Thank you.
All right. So, we were talking, we were just talking about, pulling up specific documents for specific dockets and, different case types or different document categories. And you can see on the previous screen that the DMS comes with lots of different filters that can be applied. And therefore, you can really narrow down on the different documents or records that you're going to pull up in the system. And, something that we also have the ability is you can export all of this to Excel. So you can see from the screen over here that we have the ability to filter by date, by document categories, by different case types, specific statuses. We can even organize and filter the documents by who last modified specific documents inside of the system. And
Okay. I see a question that
oh,
just popped up. So let me go ahead and read that one off. So let me go back to a similar example. So, I see something similar on the screen, which is why I think this question came up. So I am trying to do an inventory right now. For example, I want to find every single case in my system just for the auto accident docket that came from Google and has signed contract and medical records in the files. Is that what is this how I would search it, essentially what you're showing me on the screen, or
yeah,
is there a different
exactly.
place I would do it?
Well, so from here, what you'd see is these are filters that you're going to apply to your search. So this is going to narrow down the results that you get in the DMS. So the filters that we have applied here would be any documents that are categorized as signed contracts or medical records that apply to the case type or docket auto accident and that came from the source Google. So this is going to narrow down your search results by applying these different filters.
Okay, and then I had another question, which was, is there a way to download multiple client folders at once in a particular case? Yeah, that could be done as well, So I just wanted to answer that one right while we're on topic.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so just, another question that comes up very frequently is, we can see from the previous slide that, if you have thousands and thousands of documents, it's really going to be not practical to, look at and inventory all of those records directly through the DMS. So we do have the ability, actually, if you do need to do an inventory of the records, you can actually export your documents in the form of a document report, and this is going to allow you to slice and dice those your different records in a much more easy fashion once you have it in Excel. So this is going to show you all of those records that you have, the leads that they're attached to, the document names, the different document categories, all of those different filters that we can apply in the DMS. We can pull everything out in the form of a report, and this is going to allow you to do a much faster, easier inventory of the different documents that you have that are applied to different leads or different cases, etc.
Yeah, I have a question, and I think you partially answered it already. It was, well, on the screen, I'm only going to be able to see, what, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 documents at a time. If I have a large docket with hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of cases or leads in it, then how am I going to see that all on the screen at once? And, I guess you've kind of answered that already, which would be.
Yeah, exactly. So rather than having to click through multiple pages, you can just export this report. This will show you all of the documents that you have. Once you are able to, inventory everything in the report, then you can go through and find the specific documents that you need by client in the DMS.
Okay. Yeah, because something like this would be very useful, when you're preparing to file, for example, a class action or a mass tort case, even where you want to identify everybody that you have medical records for. That way you could know who you don't have medical records for, which does happen from time to time. And it's something that I would obviously recommend doing well in advance so that you don't blow any SOLs, since it can take some time to get the medical records, especially if it's not a local provider, which, especially for
Absolutely.
mass torts, it usually is not.
Yeah, and that's a great point that you bring up in that, this really will allow you to show you what you have, but at the same time, if you're trying to find clients that you're missing records for, you can use the report to achieve that same goal, because you can pull up, all of the records that are associated with a particular client. If you're looking for medical records and you don't see that on the report, you know that, this client may be missing those records inside of their folder.
Okay, that sounds good.
So along with the ability to access and manage your documents, the natural progression of using this functionality is, now that I've found these documents, what can I actually do with them? So the LawRuler DMS actually comes equipped with a Microsoft Office 365 Microsoft Word integration. So what that means is that once you generate your documents inside of LawRuler, or once you upload Microsoft Word files to LawRuler, there's no need to download them, edit them, and then re-upload them to the system. We have an integration directly with Microsoft Word, and that's going to allow you to open those documents inside of LawRuler. It'll allow you to make any necessary edits that you need to make to the documents, save them right inside the system without having to download them and re-upload them. So when you do generate any document templates from LawRuler, you can easily access those documents, make any little tweaks that are necessary, save them without the need to download them and then re-upload them to the system. So that's going to be a real time saver, for paralegals and for people that actually need to prepare these documents themselves, rather than having to go through all those extra steps of downloading them and re-uploading them, saving them on their computer. Now all of that can be accomplished directly inside the document management system. So obviously, once you have your documents and they're all arranged inside the system, LawRuler does come equipped in the DMS with another really great functionality. And this is the ability to create your own unique folder structures. So with our DMS, and as you can see in the screen, what we can do is actually create a system-wide folder structure that's going to apply to all of your cases. So that way, rather than having to create new folders as those different documents are added to a particular client, you can actually set up your entire document folder structure in advance, and then every single client or lead will have these folders available, folders and subfolders, so that you can add your documents to them inside of LawRuler.
So I had a question that just came up.
Sure.
My firm is full service. We do personal injury, mass tort, and family law. The way we store our documents is very different across the different dockets. Does this tool accommodate that?
Absolutely. So that was one of the main things that we were thinking about when we were actually developing this aspect of the document management system, is that there really is no cookie cutter approach. No firm is the same. And, firms also have different needs depending on the different dockets that they're working on. So with this tool, you can actually create folder structures that are either system-wide or unique to a specific practice area or docket. So for example, if you have a family law practice, you can create your own folder structure for those different cases, as well as if you practice mass tort, you may need a completely unique and different folder structure for those. And with this tool, you do have the ability to accomplish that. So you can create either a system-wide folder structure, or you can create folder structures that are unique to your different practice areas.
Okay, great.
And we obviously get this question a lot, which is great. I can access my documents and I can download them, but can I upload documents using the document management system? And we do have the ability to do that as well. So using the DMS, you don't actually have to go into any of the individual records inside of LawRuler. You can just pull them up in the DMS, and using our drag and drop tool, you can drop documents directly inside of those folders. So again, this is going to make life a lot easier, because rather than having to, click through multiple screens to be able to access an individual client's records and upload the records to their file, you can very easily and quickly pull them up using the document management system, and then drop whatever files you need into any of those different folders that are already set up for that particular client. Or you can drop them into the root folder, and they'll be accessible at any time. So that concludes our presentation of the document management system. We're going to open up the floor to any additional questions. So if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to our moderators, and they will be able to answer those questions in real time.
I had a question that just came in.
Sure.
I don't know how to access this in my system. I can't see it, so I'll answer that one. So the document system is being provided to each LawRuler customer one at a time. So there is a list if you'd like it sooner rather than later. So please submit that to our support team, and we'll make sure to escalate the request. So and it will be made available if it is not already. If you
Yeah.
do have the document system in your LawRuler portal, you will see on the left-hand side of the blue menu, it will say the word documents instead of document templates, because the document templates is now inside of the documents menu.
And one of the reasons why many of you may not see that yet is because, obviously due to the sensitive nature of your firm's documents, this all requires special handling. So we're actually doing each client individually, so that, we are very careful with the existing documents inside the system. So that's just why you're not everybody seeing this be rolled out all at one time, is because we do have to do it individually for.
Okay. And another question that just came up, and that is, what happens to the current data drive folders we're using now? Can they integrate with the DMS? That's a question where, there are ways for us to migrate your existing data into the LawRuler document system that are available. Another option is to, if you use OneDrive, we're going to be adding support for that this in the fourth quarter. So if you're already using OneDrive, then there will be automatic compatibility for that as well. If it's something else and you wanted to bring those documents into OneDrive or LawRuler as into the document system, and they're not already in your LawRuler document cloud, then that's certainly something that our support team could discuss with you.
And like Dan said, we're expanding our Microsoft integration. So part of the Microsoft Word integration is also going to include support for OneDrive. So, before the end of Q4 this year, we expect that functionality is going to be rolled out with the document management system.
Yeah, and the way it will be implemented is the exact document structure that LawRuler uses will be created in your firm's OneDrive account. So there'll be a main folder called Documents, and then inside of that, each client will have a folder, and within each client contact, there will be a folder for each lead and or case. So that is the structure that will create itself in your OneDrive and stay in your OneDrive if that's what you happen to be using. And I had another question about the cost. There is no cost for this if you have a LawRuler subscription. It is included with your subscription, and it's a value add and something that our customers have asked for that we're very happy to finally make available.
Any other questions?
Yeah, a couple more just came up.
So Dan, we got a question about recovering documents. So
yeah, I see it.
Yeah, let's say someone deletes a document. Is there any way for them to recover those?
In a version that we're going, a newer version of this that we are currently testing, there is a undelete folder. So currently, if you do remove it, it is gone. I mean, our support team could always get it back for you if they had to, but we will be rolling out the undelete folder shortly. So that's an improvement that somehow, didn't make it into version 1. But another question, would this be useful for high volume discovery? Can you code documents from this? I'm not really following the request, Hello. Do you understand it? Otherwise, we could answer it offline after the webinar since we're running low on time.
I mean, I certainly understand how, for high volume discovery it could be very useful because you can, obviously use this to, pull all the documents in your system. As far as coding the documents, I'm just not 100% sure on that. So we can definitely answer that question in a little bit more detail offline.
Okay, I'll make a note, obviously, of who the question came from. Okay, other questions? What is the subscription cost and what does it offer? That is something we'll direct to our new accounts team, David and Reed. So I will forward them to follow up with the person who asked that question.
Awesome. So yeah, Candace asked that question, so we will have our new client team reach out to her and get her all those details.
Certainly, okay. And then any other questions that anybody has for half past the hour? Anything?
We do have a question about user friendliness and what is the learning curve. So that's something I could probably address. I've already trained a number of firms on using this functionality. We've also released a couple of videos on the document management system. I can tell you that the overall use of it is very simple. It's very similar to a lot of the features that already exist in LawRuler. So if you're used to using the filters in the inbox, this is really no different. So the learning curve for using the document management system, I'd say in my experience, is very, very limited in that, if you use LawRuler in the past, a lot of these features should really come very naturally to you. All right, well, I just want to thank everybody for joining the document management system webinar. Our next webinar is going to be at the end of September, and it's going to showcase our QuickBooks integration as well as the LawRuler 3.0, which features, brand new user interface and user experience. As I think a lot of you guys are going to be very happy with what we're coming out in version 3. So definitely register for our next webinar, and I think you guys will be very happy to see what we're putting out.
Okay, and I also saw one more trailing question that I will forward over to, it was about the cost. So I will forward that over to our team that will handle that, and they will get back to them as well right after the webinar. And yeah, again, Hillel, great job explaining everything. And everybody, as usual, we are available to support you, help you in any way possible. Feel free to reach out to our support team. And also visit our support forum, which is located at support.lawruler.com. And if we can ever help with anything, please let us know. And thank you so much for joining us and being a big part of the LawRuler family.
Thanks, everyone.